Okay, so after testing more than 100 different webcams over about the last 3 or so years, ever since the pandemic, I've finally found a webcam, or it's kind of not a webcam, but it can be used as a webcam that matches an APS-C camera in terms of its video quality and capture. Also will output 4K 30 over its USB-C connection, which is crazy. And it's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera in webcam mode, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm just going to skip straight to the footage to show you what the default settings look like. Okay, so this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera in webcam mode. I'm filming at 4K with all the default settings. Nothing has been configured in terms of any of the color correction, sharpness, etc. This is just the default right out of the camera. And all the defaults in terms of what you can do even in the backstage of the camera's menu itself. So you can see what it looks like and also hear what the onboard microphone sounds like. Again, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Then we're going to move over to the tune settings. Okay, so this is again the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. This time though, I've tweaked the settings a little bit inside of OBS to give it a little bit different gamma and a couple other settings. So I'll just go through what those settings are. So I've got gamma at minus 0.15, so not too much. I've turned up contrast a little bit to 0.05 in terms of the contrast settings. I've got saturation up to 0.05 as well. So, and for hue shift, it looked a little bit pink to me, so I moved it a little bit towards yellow in scale to minus 0.10. And that's it in terms of what I set there. And from a sharpening perspective, I added a little bit of sharpness to it, just a tiny bit, 0.05. And I think this camera looks really good in terms of those settings now. And it's actually, in my opinion, finally, the only webcam or camera that I've tested that actually competes with an APS-C camera. Then I've got something else, a little bit of a surprise. I'm going to show what it looks like and also sounds like with the DJI Mic Mini attached to it, because that natively connects to the camera as well. All right, so one last test. I wanted to connect the DJI Mic Mini to the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's using the native connection to the Pocket 3, which is quite nice. I can see the recording levels on top of the screen, and it's just right here on my chest, as you can see. And again, this is the DJI Pocket 3 going at 4K 30, and the DJI Mic Mini with just its native connections. I had to turn the gains down a little bit on the microphone in OBS just to get it into the kind of yellow range so it wouldn't clip because it was a little bit hot, but otherwise, it's more or less just the default settings for the microphone, but I'm still in the tweaked video settings like you saw last time. All right, so I'm not going to go over all the different specifications of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Just know it's a very high quality gimbal webcam with 3 axes that can basically track your motion. It can be used as a vlogging camera, outdoor camera, with all of those things that you would expect from a camera like that. I've got the Pocket 2 as well. You can check out my previous review on that, which is an amazing camera also. The fault though with the Pocket 2 was that it didn't work in webcam mode, so you kind of had no way to use it at home in the webcam mode. There are a couple little hacks and things that you could do to get it to work, I think kind of more as a NDI served type camera, but I didn't want to get into all of that. It looked quite painful in terms of setting that up. However, when I saw the DJI Pocket 3 and I got it for $300 over the holidays, I had to buy it because I am testing out all the different webcams, and I've paid $300 for cameras like the Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra, for example, or the original Insta360 Link, or the OBSBot Tiny 2 when it first came out. But this one, at least for what I paid for it, and you can still get them for around, I think, $400 or so right now. This camera is by far the best webcam that I've tested and used, plus it works beyond its normal webcam, or I should say its extra webcam capacity. And when you connect it using a Thunderbolt 4K capable cable, it actually will do 4K 30 output as a webcam, which is crazy because even the one I just tested and just published a video on, the Canon PowerShot V10, that would still only do 1080p and its output over USB. This one, as long as you've got a fast enough cable, it will actually match that in terms of the quality of the output. But the one thing I would say about this that I wish it did have is the ability to do 1080p at 60 frames per second. I like to film, in fact, what you're seeing here is natively captured at 1080p 60. I'll probably upscale it to match the 4K resolution of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. But at 1080p 60, that's my preferred output. I like the 60 frames per second in terms of motion. So I would say 30 frames isn't too bad, but that's probably one of my only gripes in terms of the camera itself. Otherwise, the other thing, maybe if it had detachable lens or something, if there was a way it could do bokeh effect or different aperture, that would be cool too. But I think for what you're getting, in the sense that you can use it as a webcam, also take it with you on the go, it competes finally after all these years of testing with an APS-C camera like you're seeing right here with my Sony's, and it's in a much smaller form factor. The sensor is quite large on the camera in terms of the size of it, given its form factor, but the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is by far even better than, in my opinion, the iPhone cameras, the Pro cameras, that have been doing quite well in terms of webcam functionality as well. But this one is something, if you can find a deal on it, I don't know if I would, if you're just going to use it for webcam, if I would justify spending, say, $500 or $600 on it. But if you can find a good price in the $400 range, and you don't want to fiddle with all of the other cables, the things like a capture card or dummy battery, this one actually connects and charges while it's connected over USB-C and Thunderbolt, and it's outputting, again, up to 4K at 30 frames per second. So this is a great webcam. It's really a great value in terms of its kind of flexibility as a camera itself, and it can capture great footage whether you're outside or inside. And I really had to minimally tweak it as a webcam in terms of my OBS settings, so I would recommend this as a webcam to kind of save up for and buy, and it's going to blow away basically anything outside of an APS-C camera, but with a lot less headache and a lot more flexibility in terms of being able to bring it with you on the go and having the attached gimbal and those types of things. And its smaller form factor, DJI really knocked it out of the park with this one. So hopefully you like this review, and if you did, be sure to give me a like, and as always, thanks for watching.